Civilization. Gameplay reveal trailer. Now, I have not seen a whole lot about this video-wise. I have seen still frames, and I have seen a lot of talk about the humankind thing, you know, them knocking off humankind. We'll watch this, see what we think. See what we think.
Civilization was the game that was created during a time when we were just discovering what games could be.
And also, the guy that made Civilization said he would never play current Civilizations.
And we said, let's put the entire history of the world into a game and make it fun.
Trying to debate whether these are more cartoony or less cartoony than 6. And I want to say that even though it's a similar style, I think that this is a little bit more realistic looking than 6 just because of the detail that they put into the cartoon style here. Yeah. Okay, that's fucking sweet. I'm actually getting some Anno 1800 vibes, which I haven't played yet, but I am that like the graphic wise, it looks pretty sweet. Build an empire. The city sprawl is pretty cool. Okay, well, let's okay, pre-order standard edition to receive a pack. Awesome. Microtransactions, here we go. That should be part of the fucking game. That should be part of the game. If you're gonna give us something like pre-order, like if you're gonna, I feel like people were fine with hey, if you pre-order this you get a cool skin or something like that, but when you're taking a whole part of a game and saying you only get this if you pre-ordered it, it's kind of fucked. I don't like that practice. I really don't. We're not made of money here. Not made of money, especially when the game is so freaking expensive. All right, well, we watched it. Let's go ahead and get into the gameplay reveal so I can bitch about the humankind aspects that they stole. I've been talking mad shit about it in my Discord, just meme-wise. So, who's narrating? I was gonna say, let's be real here. Civ 6 had a legendary, honestly, legendary narrator, and I'm kind of sad that they're leaving him, but I imagine it's a lot of work for somebody. I wish he would be back. Yeah, Sean Bean was fantastic. Like, he tore shit up with the narrator. It was just like every time his voice came on in 6, I stopped and I listened to every quote when I first played it because I was just fascinated by him reading it. Like, loved it. So I'm definitely curious to see what we have here.
Throughout our history, ordinary people have done extraordinary things.
She has a hell of a voice, too. She really does.
Illuminating our potential.
She did great in Game of Thrones too. Like, regardless of how you feel about Game of Thrones, a lot of us, towards the end of it, we're getting burned out. But she played Brienne so fucking good. So good. So good.
They inspired movements, created the impossible, and destroyed the indestructible. Ordinary people chose to change the world, chose to dream, to build, to hope, to always hope. And if there's hope for one of us, there's hope for us all. Now it's your turn to reimagine civilization and build something you believe in.
Okay, I'm hyped for that. I really do like her voice, and I think she kind of fits the idea too. Are we keeping a theme here? Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying, Ren. 100%. Are we keeping a theme here? We're going with we're just gonna keep pulling Game of Thrones actors, and pretty soon we're gonna have Ed Sheeran. Just telling you guys what's gonna happen. I'm predicting the future. Ed Sheeran, Civilization 12.
Hello, Civ fans. On behalf of all of us here at Frack.
Whoa. They actually got Sid Meier's to... I thought he said he didn't he said he would never probably play the newer ones. Interesting. That's cool they're still getting him. Maybe he just means because of, how complex they are or something. I could be taking that interview out of context for sure.
Access Games, we'd like to welcome you to a first look at the next chapter in our Civilization franchise, Civilization 7. Looking back 30 years ago, Civilization was created during a time
Civ 3, baby.
When we were still learning what games could really be. We were searching for that next big challenge to take on, which led us to thinking, what could be greater than...
Did they have a cameo in 3? Chat, we're getting distracted already. We got to look this up. This is important stuff here. Did he have a Civ 3 research advisor? Let's pull up a picture here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It was! No way! Okay. Hold on. I'll pull it up here. Guys, holy shit. I never put this together. The entire time in Civ 3, Sid Meier was just cameoing. How effing cool is that? That is fantastic. Okay. I never knew that. All right, let's continue this.
Putting the entire history of the world into a video game and make it fun. 3 decades later, it's because of your passion, your love for Civ, that we're still here today. In every game of Civ, you've gone on a journey to build an empire to stand the test of time. And now the journey continues. Prepare to take just one more turn on February 11th, 2025,
These bastards.
when we launch Civilization 7 across PC and consoles.
I don't think I'm going to play this game on release. I think we'll see. But I think this is a game that I let sit for a couple years before I touch it, depending. We'll see.
On day one, for the first time in franchise history. This is by far the biggest, the most ambitious game we've ever made at Firaxis. It represents a significant gameplay evolution for the Civ franchise, and it's a game we plan to support for many years to come.
AKA DLCs.
Today,
microtransactions.
you'll learn about the vision for the game, the driving force that inspired our biggest new feature. You'll see.
No, I'm not lying on this one, Rin. I think with 6, I waited about 5 years after. The first time playing 6, I thought it was extremely boring. And without the DLCs, I feel like it's a very boring game myself. I was unhappy with 6 until after a lot of the DLCs came out that actually expanded it further. I felt they lost a lot of what they had from the earlier Civs, and it was just kind of bland for me. It was not really interesting. But as they started to spice it up, add more Civs, add more stuff, much more interesting. I don't know. I think Civ 6 still has plenty of gameplay potential. I still have Civ 3 I like going back to. I have other Civs I haven't played yet, Civ 5, Civ 4. And I don't think I'm going to rush into this, especially with the price points they have it at. I'm not paying fucking $70 for a game that's half made. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
To your Civ world brought to life like never before. And you'll discover why Civilization 7 promises to be a revolutionary new chapter.
That would be funny. You guys are just like, I'm sending it to him. He's a liar.
In this franchise that we all love so dearly. Please enjoy.
Okay.
Civilization is the foundation of Firaxis. Whether you've been playing since the MS-DOS days or have joined us more recently,
Good old MS-DOS,
we're so grateful for your continued passion and support. When you walk around our studio, you can feel the energy and excitement. You can see how inspired our people are to come in and build the next Civ game.
Sure.
Civilization is the ultimate historical strategy game. Your goal in Civ is to build an empire to stand the test of time. You select a civilization, led by a famous historical leader, and guide your Civ's journey across the entire span of human history. You shape your empire piece by piece, from what technologies you want to research to what civics you want your society to uphold. And you compete with others on the world stage.
And let me be honest here, I would love to see way more technologies and civics in this game than the previous one had. I think that the bigger the tree, skill tree, I think the more you can create your country exactly how you want to have it, where 6 currently has you race through your technologies to get as far as possible. I think if to cut down on that race through technologies, which is kind of fucking dumb. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I feel like a bigger spread of technologies that you can slowly progress through, you're going to have some people progress further up this one and be less over here, or some doing the opposite, and you would have more customization. So I really hope that they aren't going to streamline this shit and make it less tech than Civ 6 already had, because that's going to be bothersome to me as well. That is something just that kind of popped in my head here.
Engaging in diplomacy, negotiating alliances.
Benjamin Franklin's going to be a leader?
And sometimes going to war.
In every Civilization game, your empire has always been represented by a single civilization. You play through the entire span of history as that one civilization.
I like that.
This time around, we want to take you on a new journey.
For the first time ever, in Civilization 7, the story of your empire isn't just that of a single Civ.
In the first time ever, we've ripped off another game to create something new.
But several, connected together through time. At the dawn of each new age of human advancement, you'll select a new Civ to represent your empire. You'll build on and carry
I disagree. Oh, Founding Father. Yeah, okay.
Carry forward your previous achievements while unlocking new gameplay.
I thought you were going to say leader, and I was like, he's not a... I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Yeah, this is the issue I have right here. That for the first time ever, Civilization is going to change to match a game that came out last year called Humankind, and you can change your empire as you go. That was the highlight of Humankind. I still haven't got to play this, but I'm going to here soon. It was completely different than Civ in the way of it was similar, but the setup was different through Civilizations that you kind of changed through the era, which did make sense. I do think that does make sense because you look at Rome as a prime example of this, where you had countries that wanted to be like Rome and then eventually became Rome were like I think it was the Goths. Might have been the Visigoths. I can't remember. It was one of the Goths. They basically formulated into the Roman Empire. Obviously, Rome just started expanding. It's huge, right? So you start having these. If they did it along the lines of like, okay, you can transfer from the Huns to, you know what I mean? Like, it would be cool. But still, the fact that right after a game comes out, you announce your next game and it has the same premise of the game that came out last year is problematic to me. Oh, you got it. Visigoths. Thank you. All right, so the Visigoths. Yeah, so they basically kind of mimicked the Roman Empire until they basically formulated into it. Kind of interesting to learn about as well. And I do think it makes sense in that line of thinking where, like, okay, we progress as time goes on, but I think this should be an option. I think that it should be something that, like, you can turn off, because when I'm going to civilizations, I want that legendary, I play as one thing and progress through history. Is it realistic? No, because you don't have one person. So on that front, it does make sense. It's bothersome to me that a company that has been just ragged on constantly for just being like money hungry as fuck, especially when it comes to the amount of DLCs and microtransactions they've added into their thing. You can look at the reviews on any of the DLCs on the Civ 6 to see that, like, people being pissed about it. You have a company that's guilty of that, and then you're utilizing something another game has. I think that's problematic in a way that corporations like to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like H1Z1, PUBG, they kind of formulated the Battle Royale, and then Fortnite went and just copied all that shit, right? That's bothersome to me. Did Fortnite make something unique out of it? Yes, and we're going to see if that's the case for Civ 7, but right now it is bothersome, and this company has a lot of issues in the past with being greedy as shit, so it looks really bad right now for them.
Bonuses to reinforce or pivot your strategy. And by the end, you'll have forged a unique path through history. To show you what we mean, let's take you through the story of one such empire.
Go for it. Let me see what's got. What we got? What do we got? Talk me into it.
It is the dawn of a new age.
We've got camels.
The
Camels in Civ 7. You saw it here first, guys.
age of antiquity, where humanity begins to take its first steps into the annals of history. The great pharaoh.
What? Oh, did I accidentally mute it? I accidentally muted this. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I want to back this up just a smidge.
Among the great pharaoh.
Well, this is bullshit. Cleopatra's not hot anymore. Every time I play Civ 6 and Cleopatra comes on, my wife's like, is she hitting on you? I can't tell. Is she hitting on you? I'm like, I think she is.
Hatshepsut
Oh, shit, it's not Cleo?
leads the civilization of ancient Egypt. Among the arid desert lands and a winding river.
Who is it? If it's not Cleo, it's always Cleo. They changed it? They always have Cleo in the first version of Civ, right? Civ 3? Civ 6? Oh, okay, so that's an actual pharaoh. Apologies. Apologies to the long-dead pharaoh for assuming his gender.
River. The seeds
And for being racist.
of our people are rooted in sand
They did say that out loud now that you said that, and I just was in troll mode. Apologies.
and water. To discover what treasures and dangers lie beyond, a brave scout begins to survey and map the surrounding lands. As our population grows, a new granary is built to store food for hungry mouths. Its location decided, a new
Granaries, that's new.
district is formed, and construction begins. With more food available,
I'd be pissed if they got
our
really
people
grand, right?
look to make improvements to the land. An ancient fruit ripe for cultivating is spotted.
That looks really close to Civ 6, guys. Really close. And I mean, what are you going to do with the tile? Like, I get it. It's a tile game, but god damn, that looks close to Civ 6. It looks really close. Even the font on that, guys, looks like Civ 6. I know it's hard to see, but golly.
Dates will provide more sustenance for our citizens, and their sweetness will make the people happy. A plantation is constructed to harvest this valuable resource. Over time, our city continues to grow as more urban and rural developments spring forth.
So the progression looks a lot different than Civ 6, but when you click on the city overview, it looks identical. Even the textures start looking similar.
We pursue advancements in technology to serve the needs of our people. Breakthroughs in irrigation further enhance our food production, while sailing unlocks our ability to traverse
The UI is not extremely impressive to me either.
the nearby waters.
It looks more, we were talking about this earlier, it looks less cartoony because it's more detailed, but it's still cartoony. If you like kind of look at it, look at these cliffs right here, for example, and compare them to Civ 6, they look almost identical, just a little bit more detail on the sides that make it look realistic. So I think I'm okay with this. And then look, they kind of did the vegetation that the one mod on Civ 6 added as well. So it's kind of like, they're improving it, right? They're improving it. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing.
It is now possible to journey further and expand our empire. With a deft hand,
The School of Fish was pretty dope too, going up the coast.
our scout travels along a navigable river.
Now, I'm not going to say those rivers look cool, because that's a ridiculous ass river. Just a fatty. Just a big old fat river. And then look at the splits off. I want more split offs off that, even if it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks like a fucking canal.
Their tenacity is rewarded with the discovery of a
Rivers are winding, boss. Rivers are winding.
breathtaking series of waterfalls. This
That's better.
natural
That's better. We got a little freaking curvature to that one. Good. That's more realistic. That river looks better. That one just looked a little rough. I do love this. Look at this river. This is super realistic, how it kind of narrows down to a small outlet. I do like that. So my complaint on the earlier one is a little less so. And obviously you're going to have to stretch. You're going to have to make it wider for to be able to navigate that. So that does make sense to me, for sure. It just, they look ugly. Let's just put it that way. The rivers look a little ugly, but it's cool that they're adding that effect where you can go up and down river with your ships. I do think that's awesome and very, very, very important, I think, to history. A lot of people don't really think about how important rivers are in the early days of founding any kind of society. Everything was around a river, because you could navigate up and down the river. So most cities you'll see, like the one I currently live in, is offside of a river. And it was used for that back in like the early days, right? You could navigate construction stuff up and down the river. You could do whatever you wanted. And you can utilize that river for trade to other towns, all that stuff. Very, very important. Especially like the Nile River. That's like one of the oldest examples we have of a very important river. And the Egyptians utilized that a lot. So that was definitely missing from earlier civilizations. So while it might be kind of ugly looking, I think it's a very important addition that they've added here to kind of create that, realistic view that they've got going on for it. I also would like to see them bring diseases back, but I do think diseases should be a click I can turn on and off, just like barbarians, because not everybody wants to play that way. But the diseases in Civ 3 were like when you were working on jungle tiles, sometimes your people would get diseases. I think that needs to come back because of the realism. If we're going to do global warming, we're going to do all this other stuff that, you know, is important and real, then you should encompass that as well, just for an option. But that's just a random complaint. Maybe they will. We have no clue. We haven't finished the video.
The wonder of the world attracts the imagination of our people, and brave settlers begin the long trek to claim new land for the Egyptian Empire. A new town is established near the majestic falls. A town starts from humble beginnings and is initially used to gather nearby resources. Perhaps in the future, this town will grow large enough to specialize and gain its own identity as a city.
That's cool.
Our expansion does not go unnoticed. A foreign scout is spotted, revealing the existence of a nearby
Foreigners, everybody panic. They're going to do crime and stuff.
independent power. Initial hostilities are tempered over time as friendly relations begin to form. And peace does not dampen our ambitions. Our people strive forth to create great wonders the world has never seen before. As we continue to expand and explore the continent, we encounter new civilizations. They are eager to engage in a bartering of ideas and
So they changed the movement style as well. That's interesting.
goods. Trade routes are established, providing mutual access to each empire's resources. But our rapid growth does not go unnoticed. Our neighbors' ambitions rise.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Watch that spear. I don't want to assume this guy is Caesar because of earlier things, but he looks a lot like Caesar. Again,
Rival our own, setting us on a collision course. War is no longer
stab him in the back.
avoidable. A great army is raised, led by formidable commanders who spur our force.
Okay, the armies look a lot more, that scares me. I don't know what's happening there, but it scares me. And that is interesting. I see, yep, I do think the models are ugly as shit, but I do agree with that. I do think, though, that is a cool, like, I like the actual feel like there's an army rolling up on you, and I think that's kind of cool.
Forces quickly across the land. Spears and arrows make way for iron swords and armor.
So what, do they just continue? What is happening here? Why are they all fighting at once?
The battles are fierce. We emerge victorious.
An fabulam recte egi.
But the challenges of this age have shaken our mighty Egyptian empire to its core. The world changes. We feel
Work in progress, subject to change. Smart, including that.
the pages of history turn as the age of antiquity comes to a close.
Ooh, the age of antiquity. Okay,
A
that's
new
cool.
age of human advancement approaches. The age of exploration. A new age brings forth new challenges and new opportunities. New technologies to research. New resources to acquire. New lands to explore. If we are to take on the challenges of this new age, we must adapt and select a new civilization to represent our empire. One that is better equipped to take on the challenges of the exploration age.
God damn it, it better be someone related to the Egyptians. I swear to God, if you can just jump to any civilization, I'm going to be ticked.
This new civilization builds on top of its past legacy, and our actions in this age will inevitably influence a future yet to come. As we evolve, so too do our neighbors.
Okay?
The stage is set. A new age begins. Will you follow a path set by history? Or will you pivot and forge something anew? What kind of empire will you make? What strategies will you pursue? The future is yours to create. In Sid Meier's Civilization 7.
Here we go. Yep. Here we go. Here we go.
The journey of Hatshepsut, brought to life by our wonderful new
Yeah, apologies again for messing up Cleopatra, guys.
narrator, Gwendolyn Christie, is just one potential path you can take in Civilization 7.
Okay.
This is made possible by our biggest new feature,
Humankind.
Ages.
Oh.
Ages are inspired by a transformational idea for Civ, that history is built in layers. This idea is a way of understanding how civilizations have grown, changed, and evolved over time.
Think of the first civilizations of the world as creating an initial foundation. As a civilization grows, new layers are added to that foundation in the form of things like technologies, schools of thought, and cultural norms. At some point, civilizations, faced with a crisis that defines their time, must evolve. When that happens, these past layers don't disappear.
You know who else is going to be really mad about this? The nationalists. Nationalists are going to be so salty about this, which makes me happy. So there's a plus.
Instead, they now serve as a new foundation for the new civilization. As the cycle repeats, connecting the past, present, and future together.
Instead of playing as one single civilization across every age, you'll evolve your empire into a new civilization for each new age. One that is suited to take on the historical challenges of that time.
Every age is designed to be like a historical sandbox, as a way to really immerse yourself in that time. Almost everything inside an age is exclusive to that age. That includes things like which technologies and civics you can research, what resources are available to be gained, which independent powers surround you, to even things like gameplay systems and civilizations, all unique to that age.
Having unique civs for each age is something we're really excited about. In the past, every civ needed to be balanced across a game that spans all of history. This naturally resulted in things like late-era civs being strong in the late game, but weak early on. Now, we can balance around the age itself.
That is fair. That is absolutely fair, because like I think that's one of the biggest issues Civs faces. The late game stage is brutal. So if they can fix that while doing this, I get it, but still annoying that they're copying, right?
This means we can give every civ bonuses, units, and buildings that are always relevant and powerful. Having exclusive civs per age is also great for historical immersion. Every age feels like an epic showdown of some of the great powers of that time.
We'll have 3 ages for you to play. The Antiquity Age, when agricultural societies begin to cluster into urban centers.
3 ages?
Forming the foundations of the first civilizations. The Exploration Age, when the desire for precious commodities from distant lands spurs empires to stretch across great oceans. And the Modern Age, a period of incredible technological growth and global conflict, where mankind goes from the development of the steam engine to the splitting.
I mean, the way they split it up does make sense. The Antiquity Age is your early ages, your civilizations popping up in general. You could, whether it's a later Civ, you can do Dark Age style thing, or you can, I mean, it makes sense. That does make sense. And then the exploration era, clearly when we developed ships and you had like the Vikings coming down to France and they end up in like old Rome or New Rome, the Byzantines. So there's some really good examples of that age fitting in with exploration all the way up until obviously the Americas were found and all that stuff. So that does make sense to be split up this way. But it could be a sign that instead of your 6 ages, you're going to get 3 ages with like 30 technologies each. And if that's the case, I'm going to be sad. Like there needs to be fleshed out some text. You know what I mean? I want those tech trees so we have more customization
of the atom.
I really hated Civ 6 the way you race through through the eras, because you don't even have time to utilize the stuff within that era before it's done. Oh, cool! I found knights. That's good for 10 turns, and now we're moving on. Like that was annoying to me. I don't like that fast-paced play. Again, growing up with Civ 3, really getting to entrench yourself in each era as you go on, it felt nice. I'm sure there was issues with that. I'm just not remembering, right? Because I was a kid. But in my head, that's...
Every age can be played on its own or woven together into a full campaign.
In past games, civs and leaders were always tied together and came as a package deal of agendas, abilities, units, and more. With civs being exclusive to ages, we're excited to introduce a new innovation for leaders. For the first time in franchise history,
here we go, boys! Here we go. Let's see if I get salty.
Leaders are now selected independently from civilizations.
Okay.
You can now mix and match unique parts of different civs and leaders, unlocking all new strategic combinations, staying true to Civ's spirit of experimentation. For players who want to stick to more historical pairings, a useful indicator will appear on the Civ selection screen.
Okay, so you can bounce around. Okay, so you're gonna have. They made sure that if you're wanting to be historical, you follow these things. If you don't want to be historical, you can do whatever you want. I appreciate the option, I guess.
We're also taking the opportunity to expand who we consider to be a leader.
Because some people don't care about history like I do. Obviously, history is always changing as we discover other things, and a lot of stuff being written by the victor affects history. But I do like to try to keep it close as we can, possibly, to actual history, because that's what makes it fun for me. But it is cool to have that option, because there's a lot of gamers that don't give two shits and that they just want to chill and play some Civ, right? That's fair.
Civilization 7 will continue to have traditional heads of state, such as Hatshepsut, but we're also excited to have new leaders in areas such as philosophy, religion, science.
Is that Confucius? Confucius says. I think that was Confucius, dude.
And more.
Having leaders...
He said philosophy, right? And Confucianism is known for philosophy. So I'm making a jump there.
Stay the same across ages helps bring a sense of who you're playing against in Civilization 7. It also gives you the opportunity to keep the theme of evolution going. As your empire evolves from one age to the next, it's important that your leader grows as well.
Okay, hold on, we gotta pause. So they set up leader stats just like governor stats. Are you kidding me? Okay, all right.
All leaders now have attributes that can further specialize their skills. These attributes can be gained in a variety of ways, from completing narrative events to rewards for researching certain technologies and...
Okay, there we have it. What did I say, guys? What did I say? We got one, there's 5. We got 10. 19, 20, 25. 25 techs. Yeah, you can really customize yourself, huh?
Civics. Overall, leaders are getting a huge upgrade. They're more powerful, more varied, and more strategically interesting than ever. We cannot wait for you to discover your new favorite.
That's fair. It could be several different guys. Lao Tzu. I mean, there's in general. I feel like Eastern civs have a lot of philosophy. They're very heavy on that. Even their religions were very heavy on that. Taoism, Confucianism, stuff like that. I don't know about Shinto. I feel like Shinto is rather spiritual, but I don't know a whole lot about Shinto. But I did do a little bit of research on Confucianism and Taoism, and I feel like that there's a lot of philosophers and stuff in those realms, even in the countries, right? So that's kind of cool. Oh, that would be a really Sun Tzu. Yeah, Sun Tzu would be a dope leader for sure. Yeah, and I mean, who says you can't? If anybody, yeah, absolutely. That's kind of cool. I like that idea that you'd be able to, some of these great people, you could take them and make them a leader. That'd be kind of cool. Not thrilled about these tech trees though.
Favorite leader.
Not thrilled at all. They look like exactly the same as older ones, even more narrowed down. Actually, I don't know. Not buying it, shit. Not buying it, dude. The tech tree that is. Oh shit, we're muted. I'm sorry. How do I keep accidentally muting?
And you begin an age transition, it is an incredibly exciting moment. You'll select a new civilization to represent your empire in the new age. You'll choose parts of your past civ to carry forward into the new one. And the game map literally expands, filled with new independent powers to befriend, new resources to acquire, and new discoveries to be made.
What do you mean it always expands?
During an age transition, there are a few factors that determine which civ you can evolve into. This includes any historical connections between your previous and future civ, your choice of leader, and even certain gameplay decisions that you made in the past age. Every civ plays differently.
Other antiquity age civs, Egypt, Exum. Okay, wow, we're getting some, all right.
Across your game, you might want to stay as true to history as possible, only selecting civs that have history.
Song unlocked by civilization choice Egypt. Song chat. What? Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. We gotta look some shit up here. Oh, did I put that wrong? HAI. The Songhai Empire was a state located in the western part of Sahel during the 15th and 16th centuries. At its peak, as one of the largest African empires in history. The state known by The state is known by its historiographical name, derived from its largest ethnic group and ruling elite, the Songhai people. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think I am. Songhai. Sani Ali established Gao as the empire's capital. Okay. Although a Songhai state had existed in and around Gao since the 11th century, other important cities in the kingdom were Timbuktu. Fuck, Timbuktu. We heard a lot about that in Bugs Bunny, guys. And is it Jenny? I don't know that pronunciation for that word. Apologies. Where urban-centered trade flourished. They were conquered in 1468 and 1475, respectively. Initially, the Songhai Empire was ruled by the Sani dynasty. It's interesting because it's kind of crazy. There's a lot of some Asian-sounding words here, which is interesting, like especially use of dynasties and stuff. I'm not really familiar with a whole lot of African cultures in the Middle Ages or in that era, the exploration era, as we're going to call it. But okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. And then you have the other option is Mongolia or a leader-based unlock if available. Okay, that's fine.
Historical ties to each other. Or you might switch to civs that fit your strategic needs.
There are so many possible paths to explore.
Buganda. Is that right? Buganda? I think it's Buganda. Okay.
So many different choices you can make.
So many different choices, too. Gives you two options.
Potential for strategy in Civilization 7 is nearly endless.
Something we hear often from players is about how when you play a game of Civ, you forget the world around you.
That's true.
Video games.
That's valid. One more turn, right? One more turn.
More than any other medium, have this ability to completely immerse you in another universe. Whether it's through art, music, cinematic moments, or language, our goal is to bring your Civ world to life.
Getting the look and feel for Civilization 7 right is critical. So it's important to make sure we are capturing that through our art style. I spent a lot of time as a kid in museums, especially in the diorama sections, and being able to walk by and see these little miniatures that aren't moving, but there's a story told in them, was something that I always found intriguing. Technology changes every time we put one of these games out, and each time we put one out, we can do more. And we're at a spot in the industry now where we've just got a lot of tools and a lot of power under our belts to represent.
Hold on. Let's rewind it a little bit.
More. And we're at a spot in the story told in them, was something that I always found intriguing. Technology changes every time we put one of these games out, and each time we put one out, we can do more. And we're at a spot in the industry now where we've just got a lot of tools and a lot of power under our belts to represent.
Okay, so every time we put one of these out, new technology's out. The game doesn't look all that different, first of all. And second, we have a lot of tools and power under our belt, like being able to copy off of humankind and get away with it. That kind of power?
The entire world of Civilization. We're hoping that the players can look into this game, see the diametric detail on this, and tell their own stories that they've never told before. Everything is going to fit together in such a different way than it has in the past from Civilization, and I think it's going to give you a much more realistic version of the simulation that you're trying to create. We took a lot what we learned in the Civ 6 and learned from that, trying to open up some more spaces and everything. And
Civ 6 was a big change to the Civ series, I feel like, especially the way they did the city projects and just the tile setup in general. But then again, I didn't play 5, so I'm not fully aware.
We adjusted the tone from 6 a bit, and I think it's what our fans are looking for, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for them.
We wanted better graphics. I'm just sad that this seems to be getting watered down a lot. Like, I get you don't want to put too many choices in, but it really harms your customization, like the ability to customize something different than everybody else when you only have 20 options in each era. So to me, it almost looks like they're just trying to slim things down to make this just streamlined so you can get through a game without being like bogged down. And I'll be honest, that's not what I'm looking for Civ. I like the bog. I live in the bog. Like, I like when a game takes me fucking 3 days to finish, and I can just pick it up and set it down as I wish, and I can make it as nitty gritty different than somebody else's that I'm playing with, right? Just complete opposite. And even more customization would be welcomed when it comes to Civ 6, in my opinion, at least. And they've skimmed that. They've skimmed that way down. They basically took the governor section and put that as the leader section.
It's something that nobody else is doing, and nobody but Firaxis can do.
Oh, you're so full of shit. So full of shit. Lots of shit.
I think players will love how combat looks. We greatly expanded the variety of units in Civ 7. Units now constantly engage one another.
I will say the unit art looks pretty damn good. Just how it's set up, but I think the actions and the movement is dog shit. If you look closely at the fighting abilities, they're just like fake stabbing each other and shit. At least Civ 6, you had some motion, right? They were like doing shit and they're hitting each other. This looks like everybody just kind of poking at each other and not doing shit.
See and hear the clashing of swords and steel. Units have a higher level of fidelity than ever before. Everything from the little parts and pieces and details on the armor set.
Got to give them huge respect here. They did a fantastic job of adding detail to the models. I got to give them that. The problem I'm having mainly is the model animations are dog shit.
To the entire representation of a whole army on a battlefield. I feel like this is going to become your Civ. Like, this is the one. It has the look.
Firaxis takes its representation of different cultures in Civ 7 very seriously.
Do they?
Language is a critical part of civilization.
It is. I was impressed with the languages that they use for each person as well. That is very cool. Very cool.
It's how people tell their story. This is important because we are trying to teach through this game, and it's important to our players. They want to see their cultures represented correctly. In many cases, some players have never seen their cultures represented anywhere else.
Is that Cambodia? That looks like the Angkor Wat. No, maybe it's not. Ooh, not Cambodia. Is it Burma? No, Burma's Myanmar or whatever it's how you pronounce it. I'm bad with pronunciations in general, guys. Apologies. Is Cambodia has Angkor Wat, right? I know it's a Southeastern Asian country. That's got to be the Angkor Wat, right? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. That's it. It's got to be it. Right? Don't you guys think? Yeah, in Cambodia. All right. I had it right. I had it right. So a Hindu Buddhist temple. That looks like Cambodia, or the Angkor Wat here. And I think that's really dope, for sure. For sure.
It brings great
they had that in 6 too, but this looks a little more detailed, like it actually looks in real life. So that's cool.
Pride and joy to be able to see themselves included in the history of the world.
Music also plays an important role in bringing out the spirit and essence of each civilization.
Yeah.
Every Civ has its own theme, and we're excited to share that Chris Tin, who composed the Grammy Award-winning theme Baba Yetu for Civilization 4 and the main theme for Civilization 6, is returning for Civilization 7, and we cannot wait for you to hear it.
Cool.
Today represents...
He did a fantastic job on 6, so absolutely more than happy to see him come back.
It's just an initial look at what's to come in Civilization 7. We have so much more to share, from gameplay deep dives to first looks at new leaders and civilizations, to what you can expect from Civ 7 post-launch.
Sid Meier's Civilization 7 releases on February 11th, 2025, and is available to pre-order today. Players who pre-order Civilization 7 will receive the Tecumseh and Shawnee pack.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, be sure to create a 2K account and sign up for our Civ newsletter to receive the latest updates. Doing so will unlock the exclusive Emperor persona for Napoleon in Civilization.
His pants look stupid.
7. And as a special thank you, if you use that same 2K account to play Civ 6, you'll automatically unlock Napoleon's revolutionary persona in
He has better pants here.
Civ 7. Check
Revolutionary indeed.
out our website at civilization.com for full details, and be sure to follow Civ for all the latest.
We hope you enjoyed this first look at Civilization 7. The entire team at Firaxis has been working very hard to make sure we deliver a game that gives you more reasons to take just one more turn.
As we welcome Civ 7 into the Civ family, I think back to the legacy of Civilization, of 30 years of development, refinement, iteration, exploration, of the millions of players that have contributed, of the billions of hours that have been played. I'm so proud to be here for this moment, welcoming Civ 7 into the family. February 11th, 2025 isn't too far away. We're excited to be taking this journey with you.
Let's see what else. I'll pop the video up here so you guys can like if you'd like. I'll sub, but I'm not gonna put any. Didn't realize we weren't done yet. The winner there looks just like Civ 6. The naval battles have some potential too, like some really cool potential to be interesting. I feel like they should flesh that out a little bit too. All right. So here is what I have to say about this. I do like some of the changes they've done. They put a little more detail in those Civ 6 graphics, making it look a little more realistic. However, it does also look at times like they pulled from UI, not UI, but map in certain aspects. It looks like they pulled directly from Civ 6. Like, if I wanted that, then I would just play Civ 6. I know it's pretty crazy, but I mean, the graphics aren't all that different from Civ 6. They're still slightly on the cartoony side, but just not as bad as Civ 6. But I think the big issue here is prices, the bullshit microtransactions that none of us want to deal with. And then the company, it kind of clearly looks like either they're going to give you a half-made game and then for the next 8 years add content that they're going to charge you a good fucking chunk of change for. I'd rather you just wait 5 years and make a fucking full game and put it out. Like, it's not that hard of a concept. Also, some of the UI looks a little clunky. Obviously, they said they're gonna tweak that, but like some of it looked very bland. The lack of technologies, if you're going to split it down to 3 eras, what you're giving us fucking 25 technologies. Come on, break that shit down a little bit. Let us get some customization going so that when I'm playing someone online, I have a completely different feel for my civilization than you have, not just based off of my Civ choice. Also, I feel it's kind of like hilarious to take the governor tiles that people hated. I heard a lot of people bitch about the governor tiles. I personally didn't mind them, and take those and put those as your empires thing now to do. Like, I feel like just give it a skill tree at the end of the day. Give it a better skill tree than what that is. Not overly impressed, guys. I think I'm going to go with a 5. I'm going to go with a flat 5 out of 10. Will I play it? Yes. Am I excited to play it? Not really. I'll be honest. All of this just took the kind of wind out of my sails. The fact that Civ 7 released something was huge because we've been waiting for a bit, right? The fact that it looks somewhat similar to 6 and plays a lot more streamlined is less interesting to me. I think I would continue playing 6 that has more detail and more depth, even if it was at the cost of problematic microtransactions and shit. But I think this is something the company needs to look at. Nobody's happy with the microtransactions or if you pre-order, you get a free Civ. No, put the Civ in the game. If you make a good game, we're going to buy the good game. It's plain as simple as that. And you don't need to bait us in there to do any of that shit. You don't need to use predatory marketing tactics. Put out the fucking game, put out a good game, and we're going to come in flocks to buy that shit. Right now, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this, just based on, previous, what they've done with, kind of like I said, with Civ 6, when they're going to spend 10 years on this game, putting out a fucking DLC pack every year for you to buy at $40 or some shit. And it's just not what I want from my 4X games. There's so many other good games to play right now. Why would I choose a game that's going to do that to me? You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, my community, as they said earlier, I don't know if you guys saw chat, they said they're going to be sending me the game, so I'm not buying it. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, if it gets sent to me, whatever, I'll play it. But I think this is one I'm going to give a good 5 years before I go jump into. It's not going to be like a day of release, I get excited and play it. And if I do, it's going to be probably going to be similar to what this experience is right here. I'm going to pick it apart and find some enjoyments out of it. And I'll probably come out balanced at the end of the day. I'll probably put it down and wait till they finish the game completely and then go back to it. Just kind of like I did with Civ 6. I caught the tail end of Civ 6, was like, whoa, these things they added were actually nice, and they added some little flair to the game. Even if it made it incredibly unbalanced, at least it had some freaking flair, man. It was just kind of boring when the first time I got into Civ 6 with the OG game, and I feel like Civ 7 is going to be somewhat similar on that scale of things. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with a flat 5 here with excitement, just right in the middle. There's things I really dislike about this. There's things I really enjoy about this. All in all, they still have a lot of time to fix things, make them look better. It did say in several of the areas that it's like right at the bottom, it says, hey, this is probably not exactly how it's going to look. And thank God for that. There's some stuff in here that looks sweet. Some really cool ideas. Nicked or not, that was another irritation, that they acted like this was a brand new concept that they were coming up with, and that we weren't going to remember a game that dropped last year that had the same fucking concept. So that's the main one for me. I don't know. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to something else though.